Hello friends. As you all know that after the fall of Kabul to the Taliban hand, the Afghan economy collapses and all the foreign aid that was running the government was stopped and it was a total chaos in Kabul. Now after almost 3 years after the fall of Kabul with the crippling sanctions on the Afghan economy, how is the economy doing? Well, I am here to answer this question. First we will look at the 5-year of Afghan economy before the Taliban take over. 2016. In the year 2016 the rate of economic growth of Afghan economy was 2.2% and the total revenues from the domestic sources was 154.4 billion Afghani, the local currency, which was around $2.5 billion at that time, and the rest of the budget was covered by international aid. The total GDP of Afghanistan in 2016 was $18 billion. The average exchange rate of the Afghani was $1 was equal to. In that year the total import bill was $6.5 billion while the exports were as little as $596 million. 2017. In the year 2017 the rate of economic growth of Afghan economy was 2.6% and the total revenue collection from domestic sources stood at 169.3 billion Afghani. The total GDP of Afghanistan in 2017 was $18.9 billion. The average exchange rate of $1 to Afghani was 69. Total import bill in the year 2017 was $7.7 billion while export were $831 million. 2018. In the year 2018 the rate of economic growth of Afghan economy was 1.2%, and the total revenues from domestic sources was 189 billion Afghani while 52% of the total budget was covered by foreign aid. The average exchange rate of $1 to Afghani was 75.6. Total GDP of Afghanistan in 2018 was $18.4 billion. The total import bill in that year was $7.4 billion and the total exports of the country were $884 million. 2019. In the year 2019 the rate of economic growth of the Afghan economy was 3.9%, and the total revenue collection from the domestic sources stood at 207.8 billion Afghani, while the exchange rate was 78.1 for $1. The total GDP of Afghanistan in 2019 was $18.9 billion and the total import bill was $8.5 billion while the total export bill of the country was $870 million. 2020. In this year the COVID-19 spread across the world that affect the world economy. 2020 the Afghan economy shrank 2%. The total import bill was $6.5 billion while the export bill was $777 million. The exchange rate of Afghani with US dollar was 77 Afghani to $1. 2021. This was the year when the American occupation of Afghanistan ended. In this year the economy contracted a lot and the total GDP was around $14 billion. This was because of the COVID and the US sanction on Afghanistan after the Taliban takeover. The international aid went dry and the whole country was in bad situation due to the 20 years of war. After IEA takeover. Now almost after 3 years of taking charge of the country, the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, Taliban government, this country which was heavily dependent on foreign aid is now fueled through domestic sources, and major national projects have also been started through domestic revenues. Many of the country's untouched mines have been opened for foreign and domestic investment, and the Taliban are also investing heavily in the country's infrastructure like roads, railways and water infrastructure like dams. They also have cleared the debt of the previous government, and trade with regional countries increased. The export of the country also saw a surge in it. 2022. In the year 2022 after the Taliban takeover, the Afghani, which is the national currency of Afghanistan, appreciated against other major currencies. Revenue collection showed some strength, with the Afghan government collecting $1.54 billion between March and December 2022. Exports also increased significantly, with a 90% rise to $1.7 billion compared to 2021, driven mainly by trade with Pakistan and India. In 2022, the Afghan government also started a big national project without foreign aid and expertise. This project is known as Kashtipa Canal. 2023. In the year 2023, the Afghan economy was rebounding and adjusting to the new realities, and the Taliban government is also focused on economy, so that saw a lot of good things happening, like according to the official statistics, September 2023 year-on-year headline inflation stands at -9.1%. This is driven by a 13.3% and 4.3% deflation in food and non-food items. Core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices, also registered 5.3% in September 2023. In this year, Afghanistan's Taliban government announced Thursday they have signed more than $6.5 billion worth of mining contracts with local and foreign companies from China, Iran, Turkey and Britain. Afghanistan's Taliban-led government started extracting oil from wells in the north of the country. The Kashkari Basin has 10 wells and 200 tons of oil is being extracted from 9, the Kabul Times reported, citing a statement by the Mines and Petroleum Ministry. Officials hope to increase the extraction capacity from Kashkari to more than 1,000 tons. The start of the reconstruction of the Kabul-Kandahar Highway, the extraction of oil from the Kashkari wells in Saripul province, and the beginning of the extension of the 500 kV Jawzjan-Kabul line are also among the projects of 2023. In addition, Afghanistan's exports to other countries also increased. Based on the statistics of the Deputy Prime Minister for Economic Affairs, exports have reached $1,717 million. Afghanistan's export goods have been exported to Iran, Pakistan, India, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, China, Kazakhstan and America. In 2023, the value of the Afghan currency was not only maintained against foreign currencies, but the value of the Afghan currency increased. The central bank stopped commercial transactions with foreign currencies and did not allow dollars to be smuggled out of Afghanistan. 2024. In the current year, the Afghan economy is looking relatively good and it seems to be improving at a fast phase. In January 2024, headline inflation experienced a significant downturn, reaching -10.2% on a year-on-year basis. This substantial drop was largely due to a sharp decline in prices across both food, -15.1% YOY, and non-food categories, -4.8% YOY. Also in the current year, international engagement with the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan is also increasing day by day, which will respectively increase its international trade. In a post on the X social media platform, this Taliban official claimed that this is the first time 150,000 tons of crude oil have been sold in Afghanistan within 2 weeks. Previously, the Taliban's Ministry of Mines and Petroleum had stated that Afghanistan, with a daily requirement of 50,000 barrels of oil, currently imports almost all of its needed fuel from neighboring countries such as Iran and Uzbekistan. However, in December of last year, Bloomberg reported that China's Central Asia Petroleum and Gas Company had tripled its crude oil production in Afghanistan. According to the Taliban, the drilling of new wells will generate approximately $500 million in annual revenue for the group's government. Under the terms of the contract, the Chinese company will invest $150 million in the first year and $540 million over the next 3 years to explore 5 oil and gas blocks covering an area of 4,500 square kilometers in northern Afghanistan. These are some of the things that I just mentioned. Other than this, a lot of other things and major economic activity is going on in the country. I know that there are a lot of other things going on there, like the high poverty rates and other stuff. But you can see it anywhere. But in this video I tried to show you the positive side of Afghanistan, which you don't